Napoleon Bonaparte, a brilliant French military leader, sought to reclaim his empire after escaping exile in Elba in 1815. His return ignited the Hundred Days campaign, culminating in the Battle of Waterloo, where his strategic genius would face a decisive test against Allied forces. By mid-June 1815, Napoleon assembled a formidable army of 73,000 troops, intending to strike quickly before the coalition forces could unite. His plan hinged on defeating the British under the Duke of Wellington and the Prussians under General Belcher in separate engagements. Napoleon's initial strategy was to divide and conquer, launching a preemptive attack on the Prussians at the Battle of Ligny on June 16, 1815. Though victorious, the Prussians retreated in good order, enabling them to regroup and support Wellington, a critical flaw in Napoleon's plan. At the same time, Marshal Ney was tasked with engaging Wellington's forces at the Battle of Quatre Bras. However, Ney's delayed response and indecisive actions allowed Wellington to withdraw and prepare for the upcoming battle at Waterloo, creating another setback for Napoleon. On June 18, 1815, the Battle of Waterloo began under unfavorable conditions for the French. Heavy rains the previous night left the battlefield muddy, hindering Napoleon's cavalry and artillery. This delay gave Wellington precious time to strengthen his defensive positions on the Mont Saint-Jean Ridge. Napoleon's confidence in his battlefield superiority led him to underestimate his opponents. He believed Wellington's coalition of British, Dutch, and Belgian troops to be of inferior quality, while relying on his own veteran soldiers and his formidable artillery to break their lines. Throughout the morning, Napoleon launched several attacks against Wellington's fortified positions. However, the disciplined British infantry and their effective use of defensive squares repelled the French cavalry charges, frustrating Napoleon's efforts to break through Wellington's defenses. By midday, Napoleon faced another critical challenge as Belcher's Prussian army, having regrouped after Ligny, began arriving on the battlefield. This forced Napoleon to divert his forces to prevent a link-up between the British and Prussian armies, further complicating his tactical situation. Napoleon sent Marshal Grouchy with a large force to intercept the Prussians, but Grouchy's slow movements failed to prevent Belcher's arrival. With the Prussians reinforcing Wellington's left flank, Napoleon's strategic advantage rapidly eroded, and his army became increasingly vulnerable. Despite mounting pressure, Napoleon believed his Imperial Guard, his elite and most loyal troops, could still turn the tide. In the afternoon, he ordered a final assault, sending the Guard in a desperate attempt to break through Wellington's lines and seize victory before the Prussians fully engaged. The Imperial Guard, legendary for its invincibility in battle, advanced under heavy fire toward Wellington's center. However, the British and Allied forces stood firm, delivering devastating volleys of musket fire that decimated the Guard and shattered their morale, causing them to retreat. Napoleon's gamble had failed. As the Imperial Guard retreated in disarray, the rest of the French army, witnessing their elite forces fall back, lost heart and began to flee. The coordinated British and Prussian counterattacks overwhelmed the remaining French forces, sealing Napoleon's fate. The defeat at Waterloo marked the end of Napoleon's ambition to restore his empire. His army was crushed, and within days, he was forced to abdicate for the second time. The once great military leader was exiled again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. The Battle of Waterloo had profound consequences for Europe. It ended the Napoleonic Wars, leading to a reshaping of the continent's political landscape through the Congress of Vienna. The victorious powers restored monarchies and sought to prevent any future threat to European stability. Napoleon's bold gamble at Waterloo is remembered as one of the most significant military failures in history. His overconfidence, combined with the resilience of the Allied forces and the timely arrival of the Prussians, ensured that his dream of a revived French Empire would not come to pass. The legacy of Waterloo continues to captivate historians and military strategists alike. It serves as a case study in leadership, strategy, and the consequences of underestimating one's opponents, offering enduring lessons on the balance between audacity and caution in warfare. Napoleon's decision to fight at Waterloo was a high-risk maneuver, driven by his desire to defeat his enemies before they could combine forces decisively. His gamble, however, was undone by miscalculations, bad weather, and the determination of his adversaries to resist his return to power. The Duke of Wellington later described Waterloo as a close-run thing, acknowledging how narrowly the coalition forces had achieved victory. Despite the overwhelming odds against him, Wellington's leadership and the discipline of his troops played a pivotal role in Napoleon's ultimate defeat. After the battle, Napoleon attempted to escape to America, but he was captured by British forces and sent into permanent exile. His final years on St. Helena were marked by isolation and reflection on his rise and fall, as he pondered the decisions that led to his downfall at Waterloo. Today, the Battle of Waterloo is commemorated as a turning point in European history. Monuments and museums honor the memory of those who fought, and Napoleon's bold gamble remains a cautionary tale of ambition, hubris, and the unpredictable nature of military and political conflict.